Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. Poland has just experienced its warmest December in more than 7 decades, with record-breaking temperatures and not a single day below the long-term norm. Yet, as astronomical winter begins, a sharp cold spell is moving in. Now, this sudden swing from unusual warmth to winter chill has left many people asking what is really happening with the climate and what it means for the months ahead. Now, to help make sense of these changes, we're now joined by Krzysztof Cibor, campaign unit head at Greenpeace Poland, who's in the studio with us. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, and hello.
Yeah, so let's look at this weather. I mean, we're in December, we want something cooler. It's one of the warmest in 74 years this December, but it also is a kind of contradiction because we're supposed to see a cold spell. So how do you explain these two very different fronts, if you will?
Yeah, so the anthropogenic climate crisis, climate change we are experiencing now, means that this kind of differences, this kind of changes will happen in the future more frequently. We now experience the very hot December when you compare it to the earlier one. But soon the cold air will come from the north, and it could last for several days, maybe weeks. These changes, which are difficult to be predicted, to be expected, actually is what we call the climate crisis, because the climate crisis means that we will face the extreme weather and to extreme weather which will more frequent and more severe, actually.
Now, you said this is something because of the climate crisis. If we look at the temperatures in Poland, as I said, 74 years since we've seen something like this. So I want to go back in history. So in your expertise, is this something natural? Is this something normal? As you said, is this something more contributed by global warming? Because some people will say, well, hang on, this is something that naturally occurs, and some will say it's the climate crisis. So
no, it's for sure it is connected to the human activity and climate crisis, which is conducted by the emission of greenhouse gases like CO2 or methane. Because due to our emissions of GHG, the warmth from the sun is kept in the atmosphere, and there are more energy in the atmosphere, which means that the oceans, the seas are hotter, and in effect we have the hotter air as well all around the globe. The hotter air means that there is more energy, and more energy means that the weather could be more less predictable.
Yeah, unpredictable.
Yeah, unpredictable. And we can see as we see in the data, we can see like the temperature, the average temperature of winter now in Poland is like more than 1.7 degree higher than 40 years ago, for example. Yeah, so it is very fast hitting. Europe is the fast hitting continent, and winter and summer are the fast hitting seasons in Europe. That means that we have this kind of winter we have now. But what about these changes? The winter which is coming.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, winter is coming. So it is connected also in some extent to the climate crisis, because the weather in Europe, especially in winter and in summer, depends on something which is called jet stream, which is like very fast winds high in the atmosphere around our latitudes. And they are faster when the difference between in temperatures between north and south are bigger, and slower when the difference is smaller. Now due to the anthropogenic climate change, the difference is slower between north and the south. So the stream is slowing, and when it is slower, it starts to be meandric. Yeah, I mean, like it's not circulating like that, but it is
so different type of shape of what this is. But practically,
and it means that that we can expect both the air from the north, very cold, and air from the north, but also very hot air from the south, not the regular temperature during all the winter. So yeah.
So, but practically that means, from the science of it, that we will then have quite a cold spell coming up, potentially, in January here in Poland and the region? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it is possible. And what is strange in that I mean, like, we can expect it, but it is more difficult to predict how long it will be. We can expect like severe winter for weeks, but we can expect like after 1-2 weeks of very low temperature in the end of December, at the beginning of January, there will be another much hotter January because this jet stream actually makes our weather unpredictable.
Yeah. Well, something meanders. Basically, the meaning for a year is that it changes. It goes in different directions. One thing I'm curious about, because obviously, I mean, winter here, I mean, generally around the world, there is a sequence to it, right? We need it naturally for different parts of our environment. So how is this going to impact the spring, the summer, if we have such warm temperatures now?
Yeah. So one of the biggest consequence is connected to the snow, because it is not only about I mean, like, the hot winter is not only about the temperature, but also it's about the snow coverage. When we have the snow coverage in the spring, we can expect a lot of water, which is watering our plants. Yeah, and when there is no snow coverage, how we can see in the last years actually, we can expect the drought in the spring, and it is our experience in Poland. I mean, like, Poland is the country where we regularly now, almost every year, we have drought, and it is not linked as much to the lack of rain in the spring or summer, but it is very linked to the lack or not enough snow in the winter. We don't have the huge deposits of water in the snow, which could I mean, like, serve the plants in the spring. This is one issue. The second thing is it impacts very much the ecosystem and the species. I mean, like, the species which are linked to the temperate climate, which expect the snowy and cold winter. They have less comfortable conditions now in Poland, but we have more and more species which are not domestic, which came here because the winter are softer. Like, for example, ticks. These small insects, animals,
which can carry disease as well.
Yeah. So it is not only about the change of the ecosystem, the change of the structure of species in our country. It is also about the diseases, the problems with farming, the problems with forestry as well, because these changes are much faster than the ecosystem could adapt. They are so as fast. They are much faster than any time before, because of the speed we as a humanity put on that due to the emissions of greenhouse gases.
Because I want to ask you as well, if we look at this whole pattern, we've seen the droughts as well in the summer, especially here in Poland. I remember that, for instance, the Vistula River, one of the lowest levels this past year, it keeps going down. But how does this warm winter here in Poland fit into the other patterns? I mean, at some point we hear there's still extremely cold winters, for instance, in North America, huge blizzards. So explain to us how this all fits together, because on the one hand, is this just a pattern here in Poland in this region, or is this going to carry on in others? How does it fit into the bigger picture?
Again, climate is the global system. It's not about here we have like nice weather and there is something completely different. And if you see it as a global system, as a sum of energy we have in the atmosphere, and this energy is higher and higher due to greenhouse gases. And again, I remind you this jet stream. These meanders of jet streams. You can have like very hot winter in one place, and in the other place something which is like very cold temperature, very big snowfalls and so on. Because what we lack here is going there with the huge masses of water, like from above the oceans, and the cold temperature. So it is. There's no contradiction between like extremely hot December we have now in Poland and some extremely low temperatures in other parts of the world. It's actually the different sides of the same coin.
Right, but it is something that is complex. It's something that's going to disappoint some people, because we're now always looking at a very warm winter in Poland. But as you said, it's a complex issue that affects all of us differently around the world. Look, thanks for all that. Krzysztof Cibor from Greenpeace, much appreciated. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. That concludes World Talks, but stay right here on TVP World for news and commentary. Goodbye.